So finally, yesterday at the Direct, Nintendo finally delivered us Zelda fans exactly what we wanted. Well, some of exactly what we wanted, but we got a brand new trailer for not Breath of the Wild. We don't have to call it Breath of the Wild 2 anymore. This game has a name. We got that. We got a date. We actually got a lot of interesting information from what they showed us in this new trailer, and that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna break all this footage down. There's only a minute of it, a little bit over a minute. It shouldn't take that long. Let's jump right in. Okay, so these first three scenes we see in the trailer, the first one shows us this animal. It looks like some kind of god or some type of important thing. I don't know if we've ever seen this before. I honestly don't know. I don't know what this is. We got together in my Discord after the Direct and went over this. I do want to shout out Mindstormer. Mindstormer actually streams on YouTube. I'm gonna leave the link to his channel at the end of this video and down below. Make sure you check him out. He streams Breath of the Wild. Great dude. But we went over all this, and I think it was one of them who said this maybe long shot, maybe kind of looks like the Minish. This might have something to do with the Minish. It's possible. I mean, when you look at the connections, you know, they fixed the Bakori blade. The Master Sword is broken. Maybe. But the more and more I think about it, and the more I look at this person, this thing, I'm thinking maybe this might be what the Zonai look like. We never actually get an idea of what they look like in Breath of the Wild. They're talked about a lot. All we know is that they aren't there anymore. So this could be one of them. Maybe it's a Zonai god. I don't know. I'm guessing that's probably what this is gonna be at this point, but obviously we're gonna have to wait and see. Now the second scene that we get is a bunch of monsters moving in on what look like Hylians, I guess they're human being-ish. This looks like some type of war. As you can see on the ground in that scene, it looks like there's malice going with all the monsters. I'm honestly not sure if this is from the past or if this is gonna be some type of vision from the future, a prophecy maybe. Maybe this is something that's supposed to happen. Maybe this is something we end up seeing in real time later in the game. I think that would be very cool. My guess is this is something happening in the future that we have not seen yet or don't know about, because all the monsters have those horns like we saw in the newer Breath of the Wild 2 trailers. Not Breath of the Wild 2, I'm sorry. Tears of the Kingdom. In the newer Tears of the Kingdom trailers, we've seen these monsters with the horns. They didn't have them in Breath of the Wild. So I'm guessing this is something that we're gonna see moving forward. Now, this next clip is something very, very interesting. We see that same animal, that godlike, long-eared animal, which we don't exactly know what it is. My guess is Zonai. Maybe not, but it's surrounded by these 7, what look like, they're symbols that look like 9s. And if you turn them sideways, they kind of look like the Zonai symbol that we saw in Breath of the Wild, but I'm not sure if that's exactly what these are. But 7 symbols in a Zelda game, that's something we've seen before. We've definitely seen that before. 7 sages. Ocarina of Time. This could definitely be something like that. My guess is these are what we're going to be going to find in the new dungeons that we hopefully get. But let's move on. Okay, now this next scene I do want to stop and talk about really quick before we go any further. I had trouble figuring out if this was Zelda or Ganondorf, which one we were seeing, if it's that same body we saw from the original trailer down underneath the castle, or if this is Zelda. This looks like a woman to me. Under the eyes, like the eyelash things, there's a heart on what looks like a dress. I think I was the only person in the Discord chat who thought this was Zelda. Everyone else said it was Ganondorf, so I want to know what you guys think about that down in the comments. I really don't know. I think it could go either way. To me, it looks like Zelda. I might be wrong. I think it looks like Zelda though. Okay, so the next scene we do see what is another depiction on a wall that I'm going to say is definitely Zelda, and she's holding someone's hand, which we're going to be able to see later on. You can actually see what picture that is later in the trailer, so we'll get to that in a minute. But this next stuff here, this is what got me excited. So the next scene, you see Link slide open these big giant doors. They have giant dragons' heads on them, and these dragon heads and all the other stuff that we've seen so far, the dragons' heads are kind of yin and yang. These two dragon heads are actually facing each other at the top, and there's also a Sheikah symbol at the bottom of the door. Link blocks it a lot. Mindstorm reported this one out. I didn't see this, but there is definitely a Sheikah symbol at the bottom of that door. Half's on one, half's on the other. When he opens it, you can start to see it. There is a shield he has here that I think we've seen it in other trailers, but it kind of looks like a Sheikah symbol too, but it has like tentacles or a bunch of legs or something. It's a very strange design that was not in the previous game, so this is something else we need to look out for here. Okay, now as Link is running away from us, they cut to another scene where he's running towards us, and you can see something on his belt. Obviously, we do not have the Sheikah slate here, but he's got something on the side of his belt. It looks like little tubes. It kind of has the blue glow like we saw from things in Breath of the Wild. We've decided that they look like batteries. They kind of look like batteries. So maybe this is something that helps power whatever's going on with his arm. Whatever the color that comes out of his arm that we saw in the other trailer, it's the same color that's in these little tubes. And if you notice this, there's actually 4 of them in a row. 2 of them are empty or missing. It looks like they're still there. They're just empty. So we have some more theories we'll talk about later in this video, but these are interesting. I think these are probably going to be whatever's going on with his arm. I think we collectively decided in the Discord today, this is probably how this arm is powered or how you keep the power in it to keep doing whatever it is you need to do with it. Now, something else we see as Link jumps off, not only is this way, way higher than they made it look in the last trailer, these are really, really far up. If you look at this scene again, it is really far down to the ground. So this is way, way higher than they made it look. There's going to be some that are obviously lower. We've seen that, but this one, wherever he just jumped from, this is way in the sky. This is Skyloft level high right now. I think it may be Skyloft. It's really, really high. It looks like it may be Skyloft. It would make sense, you know, bringing back all this stuff that we saw in Breath of the Wild into this game, just more of it. We did see a lot of stuff from Skyward Sword in that game. So it would make sense if this is Skyloft. We're gonna have one hell of a story, that's for sure. All the patents that came out with Link falling, you know, with his feet straight down and a free fall and then a straight down head first fall. We did end up seeing all of those in this trailer. So obviously they were patents, they weren't fake, but it's good to know. What we didn't see is the bow in this trailer, because in those patents we did see him turning around using a bow, firing into the air. So if we're fighting a boss in the air, I mean, great. That's gonna be awesome. It looks like we're gonna be high enough now to where we can definitely do that and fall for as long as we need to fight a boss. So I'm very excited about that. Okay, so the next scene is showing Link using his arm powers or whatever's going on with that arm. This is what it is. There's some type of time something going on here. We saw this in the last trailer with those big spiky balls that he was throwing up the hill. This is a boulder, and it looks like it's following the same thing as it's going kind of either back up. I believe that's what Mindstormer said today. He thought maybe this was actually going back up. It was a piece that had fallen off of another piece that had lifted up, so it was just taking itself back up, maybe going back in time. I don't know, but he's riding the rock up. That's one way. Obviously, you're going to be able to get up to these islands in the sky. We've seen other ways. Obviously, you know, you go through the rock, and we don't know how that works yet. But there's another thing in this scene I thought was very interesting. 2 things, actually. One, there's an animal there. There's a big bird. I don't know what it is. We didn't see those in Breath of the Wild, so this is something new. Very cool. Might be something from an older game they brought back. They have been doing that. That's fine. I'm good with it. I said it reminded me of the things that try to knock you off the roof in Twilight Princess when you're walking across the roof, when you're a wolf. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. So that's interesting. But the next thing I thought was very interesting is this weird storm. There is a storm that goes up and over, almost in an L shape. And it's definitely a storm. You see lightning, but you can also see rocks inside of there. So there are islands inside of this storm. My hope, my guess, is that inside there, something is locked away. Something you can't get to until a certain point in the game. And this is going to be a dungeon. I really think this is going to be one of the dungeons up in the sky. I think they're holding it off so maybe you can't get to it right away. I think they are going to block maybe some of the places off. I don't think it's going to be quite as free roaming as Breath of the Wild. We'll see on that, but it's very interesting. It looks great. It looks incredible. This game overall just keeps looking better and better. All right, let's keep moving. All right, now here we see Link. He's climbing up a giant root, which looks like a piece of the land that is above the rest of the land. He's in these old clothes. We still don't know what these are, but he's got a different weapon there that looks like it's just made of a bone. Now, it was brought up in the Discord today, which I hope for this, but I'm not sure. Maybe this is something that Link has crafted. Maybe this is a weapon that he's made himself, that you make, that you collect the materials and make. That would be cool. Crafting system would be awesome. I'd love to see it, but I did remind them that all the weapons kind of look like that. The ones we got from the bokoblins and pretty much all the enemies kind of look that way. So this may just be a new weapon. We'll have to see. Not a whole lot else going on here. This is a really cool scene though. Now the next scene, we see Link falling, and we see him doing the free fall, and then he goes feet first again. But we catch a glimpse here of a bunch of islands in the background. Whole bunch of islands here. One's really high. Could be Skyloft. Don't know. You can see the lower ones. There's one even lower than Link right there. Now you can see a good shot of the ground here, and you can see where the castle is coming out of the ground. You can see the malice underneath the castle. But another very interesting thing you can see in this shot is that Death Mountain also has that same malice coming out of it. So this tells me that, yeah, this underground stuff is probably connected. There's probably going to be a lava dungeon, some type of malice lava dungeon underground. I think I actually said that that would be the case in the video I made a long time ago about the dungeons that we might see in this game. This is a long time ago. I'll link it at the end. It didn't do very well. I really liked that video though. You should definitely go watch it. Anyway, it looks like whatever's happening underneath the ground is connected more than just under the castle. It looks like it's gone all the way over to Death Mountain. Who knows how far underneath the rest of the area it is, and that kind of brings me to the next clip. Now, obviously, we can see here Link is riding on something. We don't know what it is. It's a glider of some sort. It does look like that dragon, that rock dragon thing we saw in the last trailer. It has the same look, the same feel to it. So I'm guessing whatever those two things are probably go together. But even more than that, even cooler than that, in this scene, out in the distance, you can see one of the dragon heads that we see in the actual logo of the new title. It's on top of a rock. We did check. Mindstormer was playing the game as we were going through all this stuff. We did check. Obviously, that's not there. The rock itself is there. Mostly everything is still intact. Almost everything is one-to-one. There are a few extra things in this scene. There is something down in the corner right here that's not there. I don't know what that thing is. We still could not figure it out. But I think this area right here where this dragon is, I think this might be a place where you can actually get to the underground. I could be totally wrong about that, but I think this might actually be the spot where you can go underground and see what's going on down there. Maybe one of several spots, not the only one, I'm sure, but I think that's what this marks. It's got to be there for a reason. The glider's crazy. I don't even know what to say about that. I have no idea how to even go any further with that. It's a glider. It's cool. Now, the last thing before we check out the title screen and all that stuff is there's something down below Link while he's on this glider. Right as the title scene starts to come in, you look down to the very bottom and there's a small, like a short little tower there. And it's got the green circling stuff that we saw in the very first Breath of the Wild 2 trailer. We still don't know exactly what that is, but it's coming out of that tower right there. So, two things we thought of today in the Discord. One, this may be a way to get up to the higher parts of the islands in the sky. This may be a way to travel up there. But another thing that we talked about that I think is a really good idea as well is this could be a spot to charge those batteries on his hip. This may be the spot that you recharge those things to actually keep, your arm working or whatever. There could be things spread out like that all over the land. I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see on that one. But as we move forward here, we finally see The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. I'm okay with the name. I like it. Whenever I hear Tears, the first thing that I actually thought of, I knew something sounded familiar with Tears, and it reminds me of the Tears of Light in Twilight Princess. You had to go collect those when you were in the Twilight areas of the world. When you were Wolf Link, you could collect those, put them in the little thing. Once you got all of them, the Twilight went away. You could travel on through there, without being a wolf. I don't know if that's exactly, if it's gonna have anything to do with that, but as far as Tears go and Zelda, that's all I can think of. Now, if you look behind the actual logo, you can see two of those dragons I was talking about earlier. As I said, those are kind of yin and yang, so a little bit different than we've seen them before, but way behind that, we see that same animal and Zelda. And I told you earlier we saw Zelda holding someone's hand. It looks like this is that picture in the background. It's hard to make out because there's a bunch of stuff over top of it, but it is Zelda. It is that animal. They are holding hands. I'm not sure what that means. It has the two symbols that were in the 7 above it. I don't know. Another thing I did notice, the Master Sword in the logo is broken. If goes down to the Z, it is broken there, and the rest of it is some type of Sheikah or some type of weird, maybe Zonai technology. I think we're gonna see a really weird Master Sword in this game. I really do. I think this is gonna be something, I think this sword is actually going to be something completely different than we've seen it before. But that's it. That's everything I spotted. If you guys have anything else that we missed, let us know down in the comments below. I want to thank the guys who stopped in and helped me in the Discord break all this down today. I really do appreciate it. Again, I'm gonna put Mindstormer's YouTube link at the end of this. Check him out, give him a follow. But guys, that is gonna do it for this one. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. Please leave a like, make sure you are subscribed. See you in the next one.